Welcome to the Harshman Travel Radio Show segment on Building Fortunes Radio with your hosts Pamela and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingles. Make sure you check us out by clicking on the Harshman Travel Radio Show link on buildingfortunesradio.com. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. Pam and Ron's success as entrepreneurs has allowed them to pursue their passion in the travel industry. Listen to Harshman Travel Radio Show and learn about Pam and Ron as they discover the joy that comes from being part of the travel industry. You might have a chance of working with them in their business ventures and your travel plans. So listen in and enjoy the journey. Now on to our Building Fortunes Radio Show with Pam and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingles. Let's get started, Peter.
Hello, everyone. Peter Mingles here. You're listening to us on Building Fortunes Radio. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. For all those people unfamiliar, on Friday evenings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we run a radio show with Pam and Ron Harshman. Pam started off as a customer of ours when she was building a home-based business, and she was the leader of that home-based business, and we started talking as far as, like, how does this stuff work and how does that stuff work, and she was always very inquisitive and very thorough, which was very refreshing. And she would be able to send that information down to the people that she was working with, and it was really wonderful working with Pam when she was building a traditional home-based business. Well, I don't remember, a year or so after that whole thing started or whatever, I got a phone call from Pam as we were talking about what we were doing slightly different as we were expanding our business. When I was telling her about Building Fortunes Radio, she was telling me that she was going to be a travel agent and bring Ron, her husband, along with her to be a travel agent, and they were going to start to use the twilight years of their life, if that's the right way to say it, and start to travel more and really dig in and be able to help people learn travel and become a travel agent. And I said, wow, that would be really good because I'd love to have you on one of our radio shows because you're really good at what you do, and I never will have to worry about recommending Harshman Travel to our Building Fortunes Radio listening audience, because no one's ever going to come back and say, those people are so blah, 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 and like kind of give you bad references. I know, Pam, that she would always do the right things, and it would be always a safe recommendation. So full-heartedly, I said, let's do a radio show. And then Ron, her husband, started jumping in there as well when we were doing the radio shows, and I didn't know a lot about Ron's background. I knew a little bit about Pam's, and I knew a lot that she was great in home-based businesses, but I really didn't realize that both of them had very, very, very successful careers. I suspected it, but I didn't know what they did specifically, so when I found out that Ron worked with, like as a clinical psychologist and those types of issues, I said, that's really probably one of the reasons why he never did the MLM thing, because those people are kind of kooky, if you know what I mean. So that I could see why you'd want to stay away. But in the same aspect, I knew that he would be very good at certifications and, uncovering the things that people need and what they really are looking for, kind of digging in, as he uses an expression sometimes, flashlights and mirrors to show people what they're looking for, or maybe find out some other things. And I knew it would be very thorough. So I said, what a great combination of both Pam and Ron as active travel agents. This is even going to be better. And I was right again. So, yay. So we have HarshmanTravel.com here on Building Fortunes Radio. And, Ron, I guess there might be some psychological reason why I might want to pat myself on the back by being right, but since you're part of the gig, and you're part of the equation, then you have to, disclose whatever it might say. But anyway, here we are on Building Fortunes Radio with Harshman Travel. So, Pam, over to you first.
Oh, hi, Peter. It's nice to be here, and I really like that, our twilight years.
I know. I didn't know. What do you know what I meant?
But you call it twilight years.
That's right.
Yep. It was, everything you said was spot on. That prior to my working the home-based business, I was in law enforcement, in the 911 and the court administration, and also I did a stint with selling real estate and Medicare supplements, so kind of diverse there. Once I got introduced into the travel industry, though, it was like, Wow, this is exactly what we were looking for. Ron and I had been talking about it since we were kind of semi-retired at that point. And then once we got in and we got all the training, and we kept looking at ourselves and saying, why didn't we start this 10 years ago? But it has been an absolute blast. We've helped a lot of people, and the biggest perk, we have also gotten to go on, do a lot more traveling ourselves. We've also got a lot of things in the hopper right now. We just set up 3 different cruises today for groups, but I'll save that for either Ron to tell you about it or another radio show. But
Excellent.
I'm glad to be here.
Excellent. Yeah, and there was a little, you guys also started to raise alpacas, I believe, for a while, and still do maybe, right?
Yep, we
Absolutely.
did. And
Still got the little, there we go.
Rabbits and cats and dogs and guinea hens.
There we go. All right. Okay, good. And then, Ron, back to you.
Okie dokie, sir. Good to be here, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that these weeks just go faster and faster. I was talking to a friend today, actually one of our business development managers from one of the cruise lines, and she was saying that she was so glad it was Friday because it was weekend. And I said, it would be great if we could have 2 or 3 Fridays a week. And, that's sort of the other side of the coin in terms of what you were talking about, that it seems like we were just doing the radio show a couple days ago. So who knows? Maybe they've added some extra Fridays in the week and we just haven't been advised yet. In any event, as you mentioned, I spent many, many years as a licensed clinical psychologist, very heavily involved in both the professional side in terms of sitting on ethics committees and professional affairs committees and being involved in the legislative and oversight areas of the profession. At the same time, being very, very involved in clinical work, starting out working for pretty much every one of the social service delivery systems, getting a good firm basis of different client populations, and then went into private practice. There I ended up migrating to the legal side of clinical psychology to a large extent. Did a lot of work in the child custody, divorce situations, ended up being a expert witness in several, like hundreds of divorce actions. Did that in Canada, then brought that same concept down to the United States. So that was all very challenging, very rewarding. As you mentioned, when Pam got into the home-based business, multi-level marketing arena, it was not something that grabbed me, and I don't think it was just because I saw everybody as being Looney Tunes, although now that you mention it, there were certainly many that qualified for that.
Yeah, we did see some.
But I think it was just a matter that, I was so used to working with people and turning on lights, holding up mirrors, solving problems, and helping other people to make better decisions in their lives, etc., that the multi-level marketing, home-based business arena just didn't seem to fit for me. I saw a lot of people getting in and getting other people involved and taking advantage of them and all that kind of stuff, but we won't go down that pathway. In any event, Pam was fortunate enough to meet you. You and I met several times, for 30 seconds. Oh, hi, Peter. Hold on a sec. She's right here. So that was the extent, and you've mentioned many, many times that you were fooled completely. You thought I was a man of few words, and since we started the radio show, you can't shut me up. But when Pam came home and said she really wanted us to look at the travel industry, we were both very much ready for it. As she said, we had been talking about the fact that we were in our I don't know if you want to call it twilight years, twilight whatever.
Empty nesters.
But, yeah, we were empty nesters and feeling that we really wanted to take advantage of our good health and travel a lot more. So when she came home and said, we really need to look at this seriously, it was a very attractive opportunity that we were presented with.
And as you have mentioned several times on the radio show, it was not just one of those deals where you send them $50 or $100 and all of a sudden you're a travel agent. We really looked at the industry and realized how big it was, how strong it was, and how much opportunity there was in terms of not only personal travel, but really helping to learn the industry, learn the different providers, learn the different ups and downs, the potholes along the way, and really be in a position to not only take advantage of the perks and be able to do much more of our own personal travel, but be in a position to really help people make the most of their vacation and travel time, and that's what we committed to do. We said if we're going to do it, we're going to do it the right way. We committed to doing all of the training and the certifications and the licensing necessary, and have spent a good amount of time continuing to do that, continuing with the educational process, but specifically also engaging with many of the different vendors, whether it be ocean cruises, river cruises, all-inclusive resorts, multi-generational family vacation, faith-based tours, anything like that, because we really wanted to be in a position that when we were advising clients or recommending things to clients, we could speak from personal experience. So that's been a big commitment. We've enjoyed doing it, and it has worked out very, very well for us. And we're just continuing on and on. As Pam said, we today, when I was talking to the BDM, we locked in 3 different cruises that we're putting together group offerings for. And we've talked before on the show about how people are planning so far in advance. We've got, our next big group cruise, as you well know, is going to Alaska in September. We've just booked a Southern Caribbean cruise for the March-April of 2019. We are then going to be doing the Panama Canal in December of 2019, and we are going to be exploring the brand new Norwegian Caribbean ship doing the Eastern Caribbean in February of 2020. So that's how far in advance people are booking. Just to hit the nail on that, we were talking about possibly looking at doing a group through the Panama Canal sometime during, early to mid-2019. There's no group space available on any of the ships anymore. It's gone already. So, December of 2019 was the earliest that we could arrange for a group, and we already have a number of people who said they really, really, really want to do the Panama Canal. So that's on the books. And I will shut up.
There we go. Well, let's do this. We're going to run our little commercial in the middle, and then we're going to come back, and Ron usually gives us some good ideas of some of the things that are happening in the travel industry. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to the Harshman Travel Radio Show on Building Fortunes Radio with your hosts Pam and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingle. This special segment can be heard again with almost any device connected to the Internet by going to buildingfortunesradio.com. That's www.buildingfortunesradio.com. Listen in often and get to know Pam and Ron. Go to the buildingfortunesradio.com website to listen in to the show. No matter where you're at in life, you can benefit by listening to and by working with Pam and Ron. Let them book your next cruise, vacation getaway, or group event. Listen to Harshman Travel Radio and witness their ability to pursue their dreams in the field they love. Thanks for listening. And now, back to the Harshman Travel Radio Show.
And we are back. Peter Mingles here with Pam and Ron Harshman on Harshman Travel Radio. If you go to harshmantravel.com, make sure you sign up for the newsletter. They give you some goodies for signing up for the newsletter if it's your very first time. And then also make sure you take out the photo gallery. They have that stuff over there. Pam is working on rebuilding the website constantly, so there's always something new on the website as well. And just a friendly reminder for all those people that are listening in, if you're a first-timer or you've been here a lot, remember it doesn't cost you anything extra to use Harshman Travel. This is kind of weird because usually when you think about it, if you're asking somebody for their services, you would expect to have to pay more money. So that's usually the way it is. If you call a plumber or if you call a mechanic and all those types of things, a doctor, they're going to charge you a little bit more for using their services quite naturally. In the travel industry, working with Harshman Travel, the other side of the equation pays the fee. So you get a chance, if you're listening in, to take advantage of using a travel agent and not pay extra and learn about all the other goodies. So it makes no sense to not use Harshman Travel, which cleaned up the English means it makes sense to use harshmantravel.com. So, Ron, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Peter. You're absolutely correct. What we have found is that many people have had less than positive experiences booking on their own, thinking, oh, I can do this myself. There's so many websites you can go to and book a hotel, book a car, book a cruise, book a family vacation, et cetera, and unfortunately they find out that they didn't know all the nooks and crannies, they didn't dot all the I's and cross the T's, and in many instances they end up not only having negative experiences but having big financial woes, when things just pop up that they should have known about, but nobody told them and they didn't know enough to ask. So, just as an example, one of the things that we are very strong about is whenever we're talking to anybody about booking a cruise, we don't give them the best sale price on the room and say, well, that's what you can get the room for because we got this great sale going on. We give them a price that may include a great sale on the room, but we also make sure that we add in the port charges and the taxes, and we have everybody prepay their gratuities. So when they know they've booked this cruise and it cost them this much money, when they get off the ship, they're not presented with a charge on their credit card that can go into the hundreds of dollars, and they were totally unaware of it. And on top of that is knowing the location of different staterooms, the different kinds of things that are available on different cruise lines, different cruise ships, different itineraries. So there's just so many things going on, and we have spoken about all the research that's out there right now, just showing how much travel agents, professional travel agents, are being utilized. And in terms of the commissions paid by the vendors, they are more than happy to pay our commission because when they get somebody booked, they know that person has got somebody to go to if there's a problem. They're getting many more people. They make tremendous offers to us because of the volume that we do. So not only do people not spend more money when they go to a travel agent, in most cases they end up saving money and getting much more value for their dollar because, for example, the groups that we were talking about putting together, one of the things that we negotiate, we book this group and we commit to 10, 15, 20 staterooms. What do we get in terms of not only locking in good prices for the staterooms, but what amenities do we have? Do we have onboard credit for people to spend at the salon or at the spa or wherever they choose to spend it? Do we have amenities in the room like a welcome box of chocolates or bottle of wine or whatever? And those things are put into our packages so that when the person books their cruise through a professional travel agent, they are getting much more than what they would get if they went online and simply booked that same room for a higher price. And the last thing I want to say about that, because I want to get on to talking about some other things, is we are experiencing this right now with our September cruise to Alaska. This is a brand new ship that Norwegian had built specifically to cruise Alaska. It has a 2-story, 180-degree observation deck. The whole hull was painted by the well-known artist Weiland, who is very committed to marine life and keeping the the environment up and good and all that kind of stuff. And we booked this cruise almost a year ago, and we've only got a few cabins left in our original inventory. But just as an example, we had somebody call just the other night, and they wanted a stateroom, the category that we do not have. We've only got a few balconies left. They wanted an inside cabin because they didn't want to spend the money on a balcony. And when we booked it, we ended up having to, call the cruise line. I can still book from the cruise line's inventory, add that stateroom to our group, so the person's still got, the extra benefits and stuff that we have attached to the group. But the cost of the stateroom was today's cost. And we had 3 interior inside cabins in our inventory. And the price that the people who booked with us a year ago locked in was like $300 less than the going rate today. So it really, makes a big difference. And the cruise lines certainly raise the prices as they get closer. Even things like the amenities that you can get on board go up in price simply because of the marketplace. Anyhow, enough said. A couple things that I wanted to talk about tonight. I feel an obligation to at least mention the situation in Mexico with the State Department. And it's interesting because the State Department just reissued their guidance. It's not a advisory to not go. It's more an advisory to be on the lookout for. But they just reissued specifying some parts of Mexico where they are advising tourists to be on the lookout. They are restricting government employees to travel in those parts. But immediately after that came out, I was bombarded with emails from some of the major all-inclusive resorts that are located in Mexico, very specifically and clearly stating, the State Department issued this advisory, but be careful and read exactly what it said, because we are located in a totally different part of Mexico. There's absolutely no problems, and we are very committed to passenger safety and visitor safety and all that kind of thing. So it's really, again, an underlining of the need to use a professional travel agent. That's our job. That's what we get paid for, is to know what's going on. And you're not going to get that on the Internet. You're just not. And, we just posted something on Facebook about a week ago saying, the reason that you need a travel agent is because there's nobody on the Internet that answers when you have a problem. And that's just one, specific incident for people to look at. So I just wanted to mention that. I thought, we have talked about Mexico and the advisories before. I thought that it was just important to bring people up to date. One of the things that is going on right now, we spend a lot of time talking about cruises and all of the activities that are on the cruises and how much they are growing, how many new ships are coming on board, how many great activities, great restaurants, et cetera, are there. And it's we've talked specifically about how much value people get for their vacation dollar when they do take a cruise as opposed to a land-based vacation. But I came across an article this week that I wanted to share with people because it's talking specifically about some major things that have changed the way that we cruise over the years. And I just wanted to go through those quickly, and anybody who has been cruising or anybody who's thinking of cruising will, I'm sure, be able to identify with some of these things. They're talking about balcony cabins, and they're saying just over 20 years ago, the choice in cruise ship cabins was primarily between ocean view or inside staterooms. That was it. Now, cabins with balconies were few and far between then, And now, a large majority of cruisers will only cruise if they have a balcony stateroom.
I'm one.
Pam is one. And when we booked for Alaska, we said, who's going to want to go to Alaska and not have a balcony? So that was something that came up. All the new cruise ships that are built today are loaded with balcony cabins. 80% of the Royal-class ships from Princess Cruises have balconies. Viking Ocean Cruises, every single stateroom on their 3 cruise ships come with a private balcony. So that's just changed in terms of where you sleep. Then they talk about pool deck TVs, and this is something that for Pam and I really hit home because one of our favorite activities and enjoyments when we go on a cruise is late at night we will go up to the deck and the pool deck, and we will get into one of the hot tubs, the jacuzzis that's running, and we will watch on a great big outdoor screen movies. And this is something that's brand new, and it was Caribbean Princess was the first modern cruise ship built with a large outdoor TV screen on the pool deck. But it was so popular that other cruise lines began to build them, and now every single cruise line has, and every single cruise ship that's being built, has big TV screens, movie screens outside with the jacuzzis around the pool deck, etc.
And they add to that, too, because they also have included popcorn machines. So you get to watch a movie and eat popcorn, whether you're in the jacuzzi or laying in the lounge chairs, and people with their wheelchairs come out, and it's just almost like a drive-in, but you're not driving.
Right, and the other thing that was added was anytime dining, and now Norwegian is probably the one that really focuses on that. When I got certified with them, I became a freestyle certified agency, and basically what that is that people can go for dinner wherever they want, whenever they want. It used to be that if you went on a cruise, you had early dining, you ate at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, or late dining, you ate at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, and it was one dining room that you went to, and certain nights you had to be dressed up. Very, very static. And today, it's just not like that. I mean, you've got so many different restaurants, and many of them are included. I mean, they do have specialty dining, and I'm going to talk about one of those in a few minutes, but most of the cruise lines have a good number of dining venues, and a good number of them are included in your price. They do have the specialty dining, restaurants, but they have steakhouses or Asian or Mexican or Italian or French restaurants, but they also have very nice places to eat, and they all have buffets where you can just eat and stuff your face whenever. Yeah. So that was something. And that, again, being able to go at any time with whomever, sit wherever, is just something that's very, very new. Obviously, today, different than years ago, most of the cruise lines, pretty much all of the cruise lines, have internet availability so that people can stay in contact with their family or friends or whatever. And also, from the cruise line's perspective, it's a great opportunity for people on the cruise to be sending pictures or videos home and say, gee, we wish you were here. We're having so much fun. So it's a win-win kind of thing. And each of the cruise lines, we just got this week a listing that starting very soon, all of the Norwegian ships are going to have different packages that you can purchase with different amounts of time and availability of internet, whether it's just being able to go on Facebook or being able to watch videos and movies and all that kind of good stuff. So that was something that was interesting. And the other thing, the last thing I want to talk about with the way that cruising has changed is all of the water slides, the water parks, the different entertainment places that the ships are coming with. The ship that we are going on to Alaska, for example, has the largest racetrack at sea, and these cars can go up to 30 miles an hour. And it's a two-deck track, so it's not just a little piddly thing that you can just get in and, go one little circle. It's a total racetrack that's on there. They've got a laser tag space station on there. So every one of the cruise lines are adding different kinds of pools, different kind of slides. The one that we're going on, the one that we're going on has slides that go way out over the side of the boat. So I mean, you're in a plastic, very heavy plastic tube, but you're way out over the ocean. So lots of fun. Anyhow, I'm out of time. I didn't realize we were yapping so long. Peter, are you there?
Peter? He might have you
Peter may have done something. Okay.
Peter's
well,
I almost lost it when you were talking about 30 miles an hour on a cruise ship.
It's amazing, and we will certainly be trying that out.
I'll take some video.
That's going to be there.
Right.
That's going to definitely be there. Okay, I think we're out of time. I had a couple more.
No, you're fine. Keep going. You can keep going if you want.
Keep going. Okay, let me.
Yeah, sure.
Two real quick things. One of the things that we've talked about very often is the wide variety of travel that's available, that people need to really focus on, not just thinking about, when's my next 2-week vacation, or when's the time down the road that we can plan a 50th anniversary celebration. But now, Norwegian just recently came out with wonderful 3-day Bahama cruise offers. It's going out of both Miami and Canaveral, which is Orlando. It's on one of their most favorite ships, and the 3-day getaway goes to Nassau, Great Stirrup Key, and the Grand Bahamas Island. They have open bar. They have specialty dining, shore excursions, Wi-Fi, photo package, and family and friends can sail free. So that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. And then I couldn't let the show go by without talking about Pam's fantasy for us going on the Bliss. One of the specialty dining availabilities, let's put it that way, on the Bliss is called CoCo's. And CoCo is a chocolate and ice cream lover's delight. And I actually posted this, so I just want to very quickly read, and you got
There's
all
pictures, so you got to look.
Yeah, you got to go look on Facebook. I don't think we've got it on the website, but we can certainly put it on the website. But
this sounds too good. I'm going to have to hold the phone away from my ear. I'm sorry, Pam. I don't think I can
on Facebook.
Calories are breathing through.
If the 30 miles an hour grabbed you, Peter, just listen to because, as Pam said, there are seven pictures, and I'm going to just quickly read what they are, okay? CoCo's celebration platter includes gelato, ice cream, fruit, candy, and sauce. The mini chocolate fountain dessert dreams come with free-flowing chocolate, comes with a tower of fresh fruit for dipping. The mocha tiramisu coupe, special for coffee lovers, made with ladyfingers, espresso coffee syrup, and mascarpone cream.
That's going to be my first one.
That's the top line. The bottom pictures, cookies and cream milkshake, dark chocolate gelato, Oreo cookies, crushed M&Ms, caramel butterscotch, whipped cream, and jelly gummy bears. White chocolate tutti frutti ice cream coupe. Fruit lovers can dig into this white chocolate dream made with fresh fruit, balsamic glaze, and candied ginger. Snickers bar milkshake. Sip your favorite candy bar. Comes with milk chocolate gelato, Snickers bar pieces, candied walnuts, marshmallows, chocolate chips, whipped cream, and a rainbow lollipop garnish. Last but not least, this is, you're already up to about 3,000 calories or more.
Oh, 3,000?
Okay,
no,
well,
more
per
than
one.
that.
Okay. fudge and cheesecake milkshake redefines dessert with dark chocolate gelato, white chocolate cheesecake, sugar brittle, whipped cream, and a crystallized sugar stick on top. So, you know, when they talk about having things to do on the ship, this is one of the things that we will be exploring. And as I said, if you want to see the actual pictures of it, just go to Harshman Travel on Facebook, and you can see the actual devilish things that I just read about. And we've gone over time, so I will shut up.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. Okay, so we are done. We are done. I'm hungry. Now I'm hungry. So here we go. We're going to be on Harshman.
We've gained about 10 pounds just sitting here talking about
just being here on the show. Oh my gosh, that sounded so good. So anyway, we are here on Building Fortunes Radio on the Harshman Travel Radio Show segment. We're going to be back soon. Next week, I am doing a little bit of traveling, so we're going to play this one all over again. So if you want, make sure you eat first, because otherwise you're going to be really hungry by the time you're done with this one. We'll be back the week after that. So thanks, everybody, for listening in. We're going to catch you next time on Building Fortunes Radio, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thanks, Peter. Have a good trip.
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Harshman Travel Radio Show segment on Building Fortunes Radio with your hosts Pam and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingles. Be sure to check out the BuildingFortunesRadio.com website to hear previous radio shows with Pam and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingles. Pam and Ron's success as entrepreneurs has allowed them to pursue their passion in the travel industry. Listen to Harshman Travel Radio Show and learn about Pam and Ron as they discover the joy that comes from being part of the travel industry. It's been our privilege to have you listen in. Pam and Ron Harshman and Peter Mingles and I want to say thanks for listening and ask you to spread the word, tell a friend, join our newsletter, and go make a difference in your world.